New seasons at the Rep and the Fox will have a preview next on City Corner. And welcome to City Corner. The fabulous Fox Theater is celebrating the 30th anniversary of its reopening, and a little bit later in the program we're going to talk about their new season, but we're going to kick things off with Becky Hadley from the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis. Hi Becky, welcome back to the program.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And we're a little behind on you this time. The season for the Rep actually began November, or I should say began in September.
Yeah.
I'll get that straight. With Brighton Beach Memoirs.
Yes, it's the first Neil Simon play that we've ever done in the Rep's 46-year history. So it was a wonderful way to kick off our season. Really amazing show directed by Steve Wolf, our artistic director.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to talk to Steve and to the actor Ryan DeLuca on the radio about that, and it was a great show.
Yeah, people loved it.
Yeah. Then running through November 4th, the world premiere of a musical.
Yeah, Daddy Longlegs. It is a really sweet and charming musical. I just saw it actually. It's a two-person musical, which is sort of interesting for our main stage because it's a big thrust stage. But they carry the show. It's quickly paced. It's about 2 hours, and it's about this young girl named Jerusha Abbott. She's the oldest orphan in the John Grier home, and this benefactor who she doesn't meet, she only sees his shadow. She calls him Daddy Longlegs because he's very tall. And he decides to put her through college, basically. And the requirement is that she writes him letters updating him on her progress. But the trick is that he's never to write to her. So it's just these series of letters, between her to him, and it's really charming.
Yeah, and I think I read there are a couple of versions. I don't know if they had the same names, so they're actually film versions at one time.
There have been several
like in the 50s, I think, one at least.
Yes, there was a Fred Astaire movie. Like Shirley Temple's Curly Top was sort of like loosely based off of Daddy Longlegs. There's like a Korean version.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, there are several. We have a whole house board of information on it in our lobby that people can see when they come.
And isn't it right, too? I'm thinking that out of all the plays this season at the Rep, you've only produced one before?
Oh,
that right?
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Foreigner,
Yeah.
which is our holiday show. It's funny because we did the show 25 years ago with the same set designer, John Ezell. So we're very excited to have him back. It's going to be a big set. And it's about this character named Charlie who's kind of going through a hard time. And his friend takes him to like this cabin in rural Georgia. And in order to give him some privacy, he tells all the other people there that, my friend Charlie doesn't understand English, but he does. So he finds out like all of these people's like diabolical plans and hears all of their secrets, and it's hilarious. So people have family in town. There's something in the show for everyone.
Yeah, I saw it about 10 years ago, a little community theater, and it was really good. Larry Shue, is that the playwright?
Yes, Larry Shue, and it's directed by Michael Evan Haney, who directed our production of Over the Tavern a couple of years ago.
So that's The Foreigner, November 28th through December the 23rd.
Right.
Then coming up in early January, Good People.
I am so excited about this show.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, yeah, a lot of people haven't. It was a big hit on Broadway in 2011, and it was written by David Lindsay Abaire, Rabbit Hole.
Oh, yeah.
So, this show, it just blew people away. It's about this woman named Margie she's from Southie Boston, and she's down on her luck. She's going to lose her job. She might lose her house. And she has a special needs child that she takes care of. And so things have just gone downhill for her. Then she reconnects with an old flame from high school who's actually made very well for himself. And so there's kind of this conflict, and there's some interesting twists and turns in it. It's really funny, but it's very heartwarming. And Seth Gordon, our associate artistic director, is directing this show. And I just want, if people come to see anything, I really want them to come see this play.
So who's the good people? Is it her or is it everybody?
I'm not telling. You have to come find out.
All right. Good People, January 2nd through 27th. Here's one that rings a bell. I have to admit I've never seen it. I should be embarrassed. In early February, Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah, based on, the classic Jane Austen novel.
I never read it, tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of the best. You have to read it. check it out at the library.
I've got time between now and February.
It was adapted and directed actually by John Jory, and it's a classic story. Two sisters, their father passes away, and so they're kind of left with nothing. And then of course they're going through the feelings of falling in love, and it's a really charming story.
Isn't John Jory Actors Theatre of Louisville?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
His father was a famous actor too.
Mm-hmm.
Sense and Sensibility, February 6th through March the 3rd. Then in March, double Indemnity.
Yeah, we're going to do noir on the stage, which I'm really excited to see how that turns out. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. But it's not a send-up or anything like that, so it's not funny. I mean, it's totally based on the noir thriller. And it's just this really dark, crazy story that's just totally enthralling. I mean, this woman wants her husband dead, and this, insurance guy gets interested in her, and he knows all the tricks of basically how to pull off a perfect murder and collect insurance money on it. And I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, who was in the movie?
Oh.
I wanted to think it's someone like Betty Davis. I don't know if it was.
No, it's Barbara
Stanwyck.
Stanwyck, yes.
Right.
Yes,
right.
and the man, I forget his name, but this was the movie that changed everything for him, because he had been in comedies before. And when he starred in this movie, it showed his, that he could be dramatic as well.
It's March 13th through April the 7th. Okay, all the shows we talked about are on the main stage at the Loretta Hilton Center, which is the big stage upstairs. Mm-hmm. And for those that don't know, you have a little box theater that you call the studio downstairs.
Yeah, downstairs it seats about 125, and the studio theater is interesting because the configuration is always set up differently depending on the show. And so we kick off this season with Clyburn Park. It won the 2011 Pulitzer Prize for Drama, the 2011 Olivier, and then the 2012 Tony Award for Best Play. And we are already selling out performances, so if people want tickets, they need to get on it now. And it's just about, Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun. This is 50 years later in the same house, and it's kind of the same thing, the volatile intersection of race and real estate. And it's a powerful show. It's an adult show, lots of language.
Right. That's interesting to me because I actually played in The Raisin in the Sun myself. Can you guess what character I played?
No.
Mr. Lindler.
Oh.
So anyway, the show kind of special meaning to me. So that sounds really interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. And that's October 24th through November 11th. Mm-hmm. Then in January, 4,000 Miles in the studio. Yeah,
this is a really interesting play by Amy Herzog. It's about a young man named Leo who has biked across the country. And you find out later, that something kind of traumatic has happened to him, but he ends up on the, doorstep of his 92-year-old grandmother, who he hasn't really connected with in a while. And she's kind of a hippie, and he's kind of a hippie.
Wait, a 92-year-old hippie?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a really sweet kind of sad story. They're reconnecting. She's old, all of her friends are dying, and he's going through some issues, and it's just about them and them reconnecting and family, and it's a really sweet story.
That's January 16th through February 3rd. Then the final show in the studio is in early March, Venus in Fur.
Yeah, this is going to be a hot show too, and a hot literally and figuratively. This woman named Vanda goes in to audition for what she thinks is the role of a lifetime, and it's for a play called Venus in Fur. And it turns into this game of cat and mouse between her and the director that she's auditioning for, and it's just the two of them. And at some point, you kind of lose track of, are they really in the play? Are we in the play? What are they doing? And it's a sexy play, totally. That's probably the best adjective to describe it. Super sexy, adults only. It's gonna tear up the studio theater. People are gonna love it.
That's March 6th to the 24th. Yeah, the studio is interesting because it's such an intimate space, and it's a whole different experience down there, a different kind of show than upstairs.
It really is. Maybe a little bit edgier in the studio theater.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. You also have a branch you call Imaginary Theater Company.
Yeah, it's our children's theater, and we have 4 actors who tour, and they do 3 different shows. They go to schools, they perform. And we have Hansel and Gretel, which is touring only, but you can imagine what that's about. And it's called The Next Generation, and it's the children of, Gretel, basically. And then what we have public performances for is A Gnome for Christmas, and that's written by Sarah Brandt. And it's a really cute story. A little girl named Lulu and her dad are kind of down on their luck. His inventions don't go very well, and they have to move out to this old farmhouse, and then some magical, mysterious, fun things start happening. And
which you won't talk about.
yeah, I think you can guess, you know, maybe who's doing all the magic. It might be a gnome. I don't know.
Could be.
Could be.
Well, if you want ticket information, we're going to have some information come up on the screen here in a couple of minutes, and people can find out more about that. Real briefly, though, new play festival. How's that going?
It's going well. We kicked off Ignite, our new play festival, last year, and did some commissions for new plays. It's just a way to get, you know, people involved in the community to come and see these plays like get off the ground. I think a lot of people don't realize that a playwright doesn't just write a play and someone reads it and says, this will be great, let's put it on the stage. It's a really long process, and there's a lot of feedback that goes into it. You know, titles change. So it's very interesting. So we're going to have our second annual play festival in March.
Okay, now coming up in the second segment of the show, we're going to talk about what's happening at the Fox Theater. And I understand there's some rumors that you're going to be like stalking the Fox at some point.
Oh, I am obsessed with the Book of Mormon. I saw it on Broadway. I think it's my favorite musical I've ever seen. And I keep teasing them I'm going to be like the Phantom of the Fox, like living inside of there just to see the show every night. Yeah.
Well, great. Well, the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis, it's one of my favorite places to go. Becky Hadley, thank you for sharing the season with us today.
Sure, happy to.
And we'll be back and see what's happening with the Fox this season right after this.
You promised me the world. Is this what you had in mind?
Every choice we make has a consequence. Help EarthShare and its members restore balance to the world. Visit earthshare.org and see what you can do. EarthShare, one environment, one simple way to care for it.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year, I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on a sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
I'm Steve Potter, and welcome back to City Corner. Well, the fabulous Fox Theater is celebrating the 30th anniversary of its reopening with an exciting new season, and here to tell us more about it, please welcome Emily Murphree. Emily, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And congratulations on 30 years reopening.
It's very exciting.
You haven't been there that long, though, but...
No, I haven't been there that long.
But boy, anybody that's from St. Louis sure has stories of the old Fox. I remember my grandparents, my parents talking about it. Then it was closed for a long time, and as I just mentioned, 30 years it's been reopened. So that's exciting. In fact, we've got some old images I just want to share with people. This was the Fox before it was remodeled by Mary and Leon Strauss and their partners. I guess, what would that be, the main lobby?
That must be in one of the little side lobbies.
It's hard
there.
to tell, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it really just, it's incredible what they were able to accomplish in just a year.
And there was a time at one point where there was even talk about tearing it down before it was renovated.
Right. I mean, we are just so grateful that they took such good care of it.
Now there's the old outside, and now we have a shot of the new and improved outside with the great new sign, and it's a beautiful place.
It really is such a treasure, and I can't say how enough how great it is to be able to work in such a incredible building.
When you think of the people and the groups,
right,
and the people of note that have stood on that stage,
right,
it's pretty amazing.
And one of my favorite things about having this anniversary is hearing all of these incredible stories that people have, you know, their first visits, and you know, people who visited before it reopened and then came back and were just amazed at.
Okay, I'll tell you mine real quick. I hadn't been living in St. Louis for years and years, came back in 1986. It was my birthday, February of 1986, and some friends took me to see Dreamgirls there. So that was the first time I'd been there since it had been renovated, and I'll never forget it. I just looked it up. I thought, was that Jennifer Holliday in that? And I looked it up a couple of days ago, and it wasn't Jennifer Holliday, but it was a great show anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your exciting new season, and currently Les Mis, which is running through October the 28th.
That's right. So excited to have our season open with this show. It's an all-new 25th anniversary production. So it's a Les Mis that people have never seen before.
How so?
They've sort of updated the orchestrations in this show. They're using some cool new technology. They have an LED screen that projects some of Victor Hugo's original artwork.
Really?
Many people don't know that he was a very accomplished artist. He just became more famous for a little book called Les Mis. But it is very cool, and there's some more elaborate sets and scenery in this show. It's beautiful.
Then you have Blue Man Group, and I know about them because I do watch Channel 9.
Yeah. So these three blue guys will be having a blast in the Fox Theater in November.
How would you describe what they do?
Oh gosh, it's really difficult to put into words.
Sort of electronic? Or?
It's, you know, it's part rock concert, part art show, part who knows. It's one of those things that when you see it, you understand it, and and it's something that people of all ages love. It's such a fun show. You're smiling the entire time.
And so why are they blue? I know you don't have the answer to that.
I don't know. I bet that's classified information that they'll never release. The Blue Man don't speak, so they can't reveal their secrets.
Right, and of course I mentioned Channel 9, and they do have specials from time to time you can see on the 9 network.
Yeah,
so people
it's
are
such a cool show.
Yeah, that's a Blue Man Group, November 20th through December the 2nd. Then I saw this show last time, it was at the Fox. I can't wait to see it again. Opening on December 12th, Wicked.
Yeah, this is one of our off-series specials. We are very excited to have Wicked for 4 weeks. This show has become just, it's such a favorite for people of all ages. Men and women love this show, and it's got some amazing music. And if you haven't seen it, you have to come see it.
And if you've seen The Wizard of Oz and think you know the true story, you don't know.
You don't know.
Because this tells you what really happened.
Yeah, they say so much happened before Dorothy dropped in.
That's right. December 12th through January the 6th, Wicked. Then we're doing some dancing in January?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do some disco dancing. So you better get your disco moves ready for Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
I had some at one time.
Yeah? Will you demonstrate for us?
Later,
I won't
later.
Make you do that. Yeah, so...
we're talking about Stomp.
Oh, and Stomp, yeah, you got your dance moves ready for Stomp,
Did I go backwards?
too.
We're already into Priscilla,
Okay,
right?
so one of our off-series specials in January is Stomp, which I think I've lost count of how many times it's been to the Fox Theater. And this is such a favorite, and we're really excited to be bringing it back.
And Stomp is January 11th through the 13th.
Yes.
Then it's Priscilla.
Then it's Priscilla. I'm so excited for the show. I jumped right ahead to talk about it. Many people are familiar with the movie that came out in 1994.
Patrick Swayze and who else?
The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Right.
Takes place in Australia. 3 drag performers. They leave Sydney to go on this epic road trip across the Australian outback. Some incredible music. You'll be amazed how they've brought this movie to the Broadway stage. It's so much fun. The costumes, just jaw-dropping, incredible costumes. They won a Tony Award for the costumes in this show.
No kidding, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So yeah, sometimes stage versions are nothing like the movie.
Right.
And sometimes that's good.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you have all the humor and the sort of heartwarming, interesting relationships going on and that happen in the movie, but then you also have this kind of mind-blowing costumes. These numbers in the show are just incredible.
We'll look forward to that. That's Priscilla, January 29th through February 10th. Then Becky Hadley, watch for her in the lobby in February.
Yeah, so the Book of Mormon, this show is such a huge hit, and we're really excited to be bringing it to St. Louis for the first time.
I'm really looking forward to this one, yeah.
So, I mean, 9 Tony Awards in 2011 for this show, including Best Musical. It's brought to you by the creators of South Park and Avenue Q, so you know to expect some more mature adult humor, but it's also got some more touching moments, and it's a really, really great structured show. It's a really good show. It's a lot of fun.
They did an interesting piece on NPR not too long ago about it, because you wonder, since it's about religion, is it going to be offensive? Will it hurt anybody's feelings? And from what I understand, no.
Well, if you're familiar with South Park, you know that they approach it in a very unique way, but they sort of still maintain that line, you know?
Uh-huh. Very thin line sometimes.
Yeah.
Then Book of Mormon, February 19th through March 3rd. Then it's War Horse. I'll spit it out, March 13th through 24th.
So this show took home the Tony for Best Play, and we're actually bringing this to the Fox along with the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis. We're very grateful for that partnership with them, and this show is just stunning. It tells the story of a boy named Albert and his horse Joey. He kind of rescues Joey and adopts him, and they become close pals. And it's set during World War I in England, and you think, how are they going to portray a story about horses live on stage without actual horses? And it's incredibly breathtaking how they tell this story. They use puppets in the show. So the horses and their geese and birds, and they're all they're all portrayed by these puppets, and they're just amazing.
It's sort of kind of how Lion King did it, or?
It's different than Lion King. The puppets are made to be a little more realistic. The horses are life-size horse puppets that can be ridden by people on stage. And after a while, you really do forget that they're puppets.
It's a magic of theater.
I mean, they breathe. They have life in them.
Then we're looking at $1 Million Quartet, April 23rd through May 15th.
This is going to be a really fun show. People are going to be dancing in the aisles during this one. It tells the story of an actual event that happened, which I still can't believe that this really happened, but Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins all got together in a recording studio in 1956 in Memphis.
Wow.
Can you imagine
being
a fly on the wall during that? And that this musical lets you do that. This took place during a really interesting, pivotal point in all of their careers. It's a fascinating show, and it's a lot of fun.
Boy, casting has to be crucial in that one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, we continue with the musical theme, Rock of Ages, May 24th through 26th.
Yeah, so this is our final off-series special.
And that's just a couple of days, yeah.
Yeah, so we had this in our season last year, and people loved it so much that we had to bring it back again. It's just a riot. The show is so much fun. It's hilarious. It's, set in the 1980s on the Sunset Strip. Lots of classic 80s hits, Journey, Styx, Pat Benatar. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a friend that went was it last year, did you say? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she just absolutely loved it. She said it was like going to a concert.
Yeah, get your hairspray out and your leg warmers.
Shoulder pads, did you wear those?
Right, no.
Then you finish up the season in May and June with one of my favorite old standbys.
Mm-hmm. This is such a classic show.
Anything goes.
Yeah, and this production is especially wonderful. It took home the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical, and Kathleen Marshall's choreography is what really makes this show so special. They won a Tony for Best Choreography for this show, and oh my gosh, these numbers will just blow you away. They're so incredible.
It is. It's one of my favorite shows. I've got the soundtrack at home. I listen to it all the time. Yeah. So any special things people should keep in mind, Emily, about tickets, since your season is just beginning?
Yeah, so our season ticket subscriptions are still available, and that gets you tickets to our 7 series shows, which include Les Mis, Blue Man Group, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Book of Mormon, War Horse and $1 Million Quartet, and also Anything Goes. You have special privileges where you can swap one, you can trade your tickets for one show to get tickets to another show. And it's a really great way to get a great deal on all the shows we have coming up. And you can reach our subscription office at 314-535-1700. Single tickets to all the shows that I mentioned are on sale except for Book of Mormon. That's the only one that single tickets are not available for right now.
So just stay tuned for more information.
Stay tuned. Yeah. But you can call 314-534-1111, visit metrotix.com, or also visit us in person at our Fox Theater box office.
You know, one thing I've never experienced, tell me just a little bit about it, because I see the entrance on the side of the building, the Fox Club.
So the Fox Club it's our corporate box club membership level, and it's in between the orchestra level of the theater and the mezzanine balcony levels. So, you know, a lot of businesses will purchase box seats, a box seat subscription for the year, and we also have a Broadway Club membership, which is in the first 5 rows of the theater. And you can always, we have information on our website. I'm not sure what the availability is for this season, but.
And a lot of people may not realize there are dining options.
Yes. So with the Fox Club, you also have dining options before the show and in those box seats during the show. It's very cool.
Well, as you know, my day job is at St. Louis Public Radio. And earlier this year, we just moved into a new building that we had constructed on Olive, right by the 9 network. Anyway, long story short, the reason I bring this up is the studio that I'm in most of the time has a window. I never had a window before, but this window looks out onto the back parking lot of the Fox, and it's so much fun being your neighbor there.
That building is beautiful. I'm so excited to have you guys as our new neighbors.
Yeah, but it's neat where I sit. I can watch, like, I watch the big vans pull up if you're going to have a show. I watch them unload. I think I saw James Taylor's bus pull up. So I get hours of entertainment out of it. So I want to thank you for that.
You should start a little video blog and just.
I could. Well, it's great being in Grand Center and being next to the fabulous Fox. And we want to congratulate you on a new season and on 30 years of your rebirth. Is that a way to put it? Of your reopening since the remodeling. So Emily Murphree, we really appreciate you being here, and thanks so much.
Thank you
for sharing this season with us. I'm Steve Potter. There's a lot of theater in St. Louis. Take advantage of it. That's all the time we have today for City Corner. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.